friends, my name is Kayla Rain, and today I am doing the New York Times By the Book tag. So this is a tag that is just going around everywhere. I feel like everyone is doing it, and for good reason. It seems like a really incredible tag, and this tag was created by Marie Berg, so I will go ahead and link the original in the down bar below. And I was not specifically tagged by anyone to do this, but I was just really interested in doing it, so I'm going to because I just feel like it, and I am pretty sure this is going to be my first tag for the 2016 calendar year, because I have not been doing tags for a while. I was doing a lot of tags like somewhere around a year ago, and I just felt like all of my answers were just the same thing over and over and over again, so I just kind of stopped doing them, and now I want to get back in the game. So I'm going to start with this one. Starting with question number 1, what book is currently on your nightstand? And the book that is currently on my nightstand is On the Edge of Gone by Corinne Davis. This is a book that I have been taking a little bit longer to read because when I initially picked it up, I thought I was in the mood for sci-fi. I wasn't, but I was still very interested in the plot, so I didn't want to put it down. I am now again in the mood for a sci-fi book. So I'm really getting into this one, and I will probably finish it within the next couple of days. It's really, really fantastic. Question number 2 is, what is the last truly good book that you read? And I am going to go with my last 5-star read, which was Honor Girl and Memoir by Maggie Thrash. And this is a graphic novel memoir that follows a young Maggie Thrash as she is going to this religious camp. I don't remember exactly what religion it is, but it is a religious summer camp, and she is just discovering her sexuality and just really trying to find who she is as a person, and it was just really beautifully done. I think that the artwork really added to the overall experience, and the writing was really, really nice, and I really, really loved this graphic novel. I was very much in the mood for it anyway, so that kind of helped give it a higher rating, because I was just wanting something very summery, and this takes place at a summer camp, so it was incredibly summery, and it just captured that feeling of young adolescence, self-discovery, and just the camp atmosphere very, very well. And I ended up giving it a 5 out of 5 stars because I loved every aspect of that book. Question number 3 is, if you could read any author, dead or alive, who would it be and what would you want to talk about? So this is a question that probably has a changing answer almost every single day because I just want to meet so many different authors. But today in particular, I'm really feeling like I would love to meet Emery Lord. She is a YA author, and I actually haven't read any of her books yet, but I plan to remedy that this summer by picking up some of her books from the library. I do follow her on Twitter, however, and I would just love to sit down and talk to her about how she incorporates feminism and how she incorporates mental illness and those discussions into her YA books, because it's definitely a popular discussion on her Twitter feed. She seems like such an incredible young woman who is really empowering to young adults and wants to write books for them to show them how incredible and how strong and independent they can be. And I just think that's really fantastic to have an author who is so passionate about writing good YA for a YA audience. So I would love to sit down and just discuss so many things YA related with her. Question number 4 is, what book might we be surprised to find on your shelf? And this one isn't so much surprising, but it's definitely one that always gets like a triple look on my shelf. Like if anyone's like looking at my bookshelf, they're like, wait, what? Why do you have that? And that is I Heart Female Orgasm by Dorian Salat and Marshall Miller. And I picked this up at the seminar that I attended when I was a junior in college, I think. The seminar is called I Heart Female Orgasm, and it's just an incredibly female-focused, sex-positive seminar. It's really fantastic. I went ahead and picked up the book, and I feel like this is just a really well-done sex education guide that is all-inclusive for all women, and definitely has some lessons in there for the men too, so don't feel like you can't pick this up if you're a guy. Like, you should know how to give an awesome female orgasm too. Question number 5 is, how do you organize your shelves? And for me, this question, I don't really have a good answer for it because each shelf is very different. For example, this shelf right here is historical fiction, and I organize all of the books on here according to historical fiction. Those go on there. And then this shelf is kind of like trilogies and shorter series. And then this is my Neil Gaiman shelf, and this is like my fantasy-esque shelf, and then every other shelf is a complete and total mess. These are very well organized because they're in the shot. The rest of my shelves are just organized based on how books fit and just how they look aesthetically, like if I like the colors when they're together. I do have some rainbow shelves, so it really just depends. I did particularly organize these 4 behind me because I knew that I'd be filming and I wanted them to have some type of organization, so it's just aesthetically pleasing and nice to look at if you just get tired of looking at my face and you want to look at my bookshelves instead while you're watching my videos. So question number 6 is, what book have you always meant to read but you just haven't gotten around to yet? And that is definitely going to be the 2nd and 3rd installment in the Robert Galbraith mystery series, aka J.K. Rowling. I have read the first one, but I just haven't gotten around to reading the other 2, and I always mean to pick them up and get to them because I am a huge J.K. Rowling fan and I've read everything else by her, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I plan on getting there one day, but right now that's kind of like on the back burner. I'll get there eventually. Question number 7, what was a disappointing read for you? And for me, I have 2 very high profile YA books that everyone seems to love, but I just really couldn't get into. And the first one is The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater. And this is definitely a book that I plan on going back and rereading because I think I just picked it up at a really bad time. Maggie Stiefvater has a very unique writing style and her characters are incredibly unique. So at the time of reading that, I was just going through this phase where I was like, oh my gosh, if I have one more like special snowflake character who has to be so super special and no one else can be as special as them, I am going to scream. And then I picked up that book. So I ended up really not liking it. I just couldn't get into it. I felt like the plot was very predictable on the first one. However, I've heard really fantastic things about the series as a whole, and I really, really do want to try reading that one again. The other book that was a huge disappointment for me was The Elite. And this actually 2 books, so The Elite and the one by Kiera Cass, and this one was such a disappointment because I really, really enjoyed the first one so much, but I felt like it was just the same storyline over again, except not as well done as the first time because it wasn't as exciting and wasn't as swoony as the first one. So I don't know, it was just really disappointing, and I didn't love the 2nd and 3rd installments in the Selection series, so that was a huge bummer because I did like the first one so much. Question number 8, what kind of stories are you drawn to? And I am particularly drawn to YA books. I love reading YA. I think it's really incredible, and they're just really my favorite books to reach for, and it really doesn't matter whether it's contemporary, science fiction, fantasy, non-fiction. I just really love YA, and I think that the stories that come out of the YA world are really incredible. Question number 9 is, what book would you recommend for the president to read? And I know a lot of people have tried to pick out like really hard-hitting books that would provoke deep thoughts within their leaders, but I decided to just pick like a fun book for the president to read because I feel like he has a pretty hard job and he's probably pretty stressed out all the time and people are always shoving their ideas on him. I am certain of that. So I thought maybe it would be fun if the president picked up American Gods by Neil Gaiman and read it before the show came out, just to kick back, relax, have a good time. You know, everyone needs a break. And question number 10 is, what book do you plan to read next? And I plan on picking up The Star-Touched Queen by Roshani Chokshi, and I have this on hold at the library. They haven't gotten it in yet. I'm the first person waiting in line for it, and this has just been a really anticipated debut for me. It sounds very interesting, and it has been getting a lot of high praise from many different people, so I'm very excited to be picking that one up next. So that has been it for my part of the tag, and I'm going to go ahead and tag some other people to jump in. So I'm going to start with Michelle over at Michelle's Life, Caitlin from Book Chats, and Mike from Slice of Mike. So I would love to see your answers to this tag. That is it for today's video. Let me know what you guys are planning on reading next, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Stay weird.